This is a look at Electronics Art's Unravel, written by ColdWood. Right, let's get started. It's all about an old lady, and it looks a bit smoky in her house, so she's probably burnt the toast again. A next door neighbour seems to have done the same thing and set the entire forest on fire. The old lady enjoys playing Angry Birds on her tablet and is really pleased because she's reached level 367, but then gets sad when she realises that the grandkids have borrowed the charger again and there's only 5% left. She has a problem with stampeding elephants that shakes the whole house, but it's not as bad as the old days when they had nothing to eat apart from their own gloves. Sadly, she has to knit her own bedclothes and pyjamas each day, and spends the rest of the day upstairs with her knitting needles and mobile phone, waiting for a phone call from the agency about her next job as a Polygon lookalike for Dame Judi Dench. Thankfully for the game creators, she doesn't drop her false teeth, otherwise this little character would be a bit different and called Chompy instead of Yarny. The cushion has a message written in Swedish about love and memories, but it could also say something along the lines of, "Property of Broadmoor Prison, please phone 999 and avoid contact with the owner at all costs." Polygon Judy gets quite depressed as she lives with a violinist who constantly plays sad tunes, so please excuse me for a moment while I just pause the game. Now that's been sorted out, we can continue without any distraction or copyright claims. Polygon Judy has a nice old photograph album, but it appears that she's dropped cider on the writing, and all the pictures have gone dry, cracked and crusty, probably because she's kept it too long on the table next to the candle. She's also been spying on the neighbours, and has collected many pictures of them in compromising situations. If the lookalike business doesn't work out, then she can always sell the pictures to the newspapers, and this will help with her pension. Polygon Judy uses a log burner to heat the house and enjoys nothing better than going out on a Sunday afternoon with a nice mask and chainsaw to terrorise the neighbours and cut down all their trees. She'll also be appearing in court next week for burning wood in a smoke controlled area and will most likely end up with a £1,000 penalty. This is a picture of her family, but most of them were involved in a tragic accident during an elephant stampede, and they're now kept rolled up in the drawers of the writing desk. This is the first introductory level of the game, but it has to be asked whether this is real, a dream caused by eating cheese before bedtime, or some sort of hallucination caused by her log burner having a blocked chimney, or maybe that she's just eaten the wrong type of mushroom. It looks like he hasn't eaten for a while, and so he's probably trying to catch the butterfly to have for his lunch. Every so often, Yarny runs out of yarn and can't go any further, regardless of how much he tries to give it a tug. Thankfully, Polygon Judy has gone a bit batty in her old age, and has left blobs of yarn dotted about the garden that he can use to extend his range. He's able to toss himself out towards various small blobs of yarn and move and break things. Polygon Judy won this award for her time as a Major League basketball player, and so she'll be upset that it has been broken. Polygon Judy has arranged her garden exactly as she likes it, and knows where everything is located. This helps a lot as her eyesight is failing. Therefore, because Yarny moves these plant pots, she will trip and fall over them as they're no longer in their correct place. After this happens, she'll phone up the injury lawyers that advertise on the television and be awarded enough money to pay her penalty for burning wood in a controlled area. She'll then reply to the email from her long-lost cousin, who just happens to be a wealthy prince in Nigeria. This is the half-buried oil drum, where Polygon Judy keeps all of her hazardous material, but it is currently leaking into the environment. Throughout his travels, Yarny comes across the memories of Polygon Judy, and this one was when she became a golfing champion at the age of 3, and would regularly beat Mr. Woods and won the Ryder Cup 20 times in succession. The yarn that Yarny tosses out from himself comes from his hand and not any other part of his anatomy, otherwise the game would have not been granted a PEGI age rating of 7. Oh! Sorry about that, but I was sat on a drawing pin. When Yarny collects bundles of yarn left by Batty Polygon Judy, he does an impression of Wonder Woman from the 1970s. There are a lot of similarities between Yarny and Wonder Woman, including twirling around to get increased power, a couple of very prominent pointy things, and a magic lasso. Apart from the weird looking puppet glove bird that lives in this box, the game is extremely well drawn. Unlike 3D games where everything needs to be computed on the fly, Unravel is two-dimensional with restricted camera movement, and so almost everything has been pre-rendered. This means that it doesn't appear to be too taxing on the processor or graphics card. Despite what happened to the violinist that lived with Polygon Judy, it's nice to have a peaceful game that doesn't involve a lot of running about shooting and killing people. It does sometimes get a bit annoying in doing the same puzzles multiple times, but that's just me being complete pants at computer games. Oh, there's another one of those annoying drawing pins. They get everywhere. Wonder Woman. The reason why Yarny is so good at swinging and abseiling is because he is made from recycled wool that was once the balaclava of someone in the SAS. You can never have enough apples in a computer game, and although they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, I can definitely confirm that this is definitely not true, or based on any sort of medical science. Therefore, it is not the same as garlic for vampires, or kryptonite for Superman. Oh look, now there's a surprise. It's beginning to fill up with fish vomit, and so it's a wonderful coincidence that apples float. I wonder what we do next. Ouch! Sir Isaac Newton thought of gravity when an apple fell on his head. But did you know that it is an unknown and untrue fact that his hair was made out of wool, and this meant that it was vital in one of the greatest discoveries in history. Therefore, being described as woolly-headed was a big compliment, as it meant that you were a brainy, clever person like Newton. However, over the years, sheep found that they couldn't live up to the expectation of being total geniuses, and so they requested that the meaning was changed to something more appropriate. This was despite the fact that they understand quantum mechanics, invented graphene, and found that life on Mars existed, but couldn't tell anyone because nobody understood what they were bleating on about. I hope you've enjoyed the first part of this parody review of Unravel. If you subscribe, then you might or might not get to see a second part, depending on whether I can be bothered to spend several more days messing about with Adobe Premiere.